Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to see what we can do with foil. What we can sculpt. Trying to think of some easy sculpting medium that's cheap. These are like 50 odd p. They're the cheapest foil you can get. It doesn't need to be expensive, especially if you're just going to have a play around. Now, I had lots of ideas. I was like, oh, I could do this. And then they were getting more and more complicated. And we want to try and keep this simple so everyone can have a go. So, I'm thinking the human form. Sounds complicated, but it's going to be basics. We are going to keep it nice and easy. It's that or some sort of monster, which are equally always fun to do. We could do that. Should we do that? I'm always tempted by a good monster. Now that ideas are rolling, I've been standing around in all honesty for about half an hour thinking, what can I do that's simple? What can I do? And getting all these ideas that were getting overcomplicated. I put the camera on, so I thought I just got to get going. And now I've got ideas, because I really wanted to use cocktail sticks. Again, these were cheap. These were like 50 odd p. Yes. Let's try and make a monster. We specialise in making monsters. So before I start unravelling that, because you won't hear me, we're just going to get a big mass of this and just start shaping it with our hands. I've got pliers, because pliers are good for really pinching it in tight if you want to make something really sturdy. So, let's do it. And let me move that out of the way for a second, so we don't need that right now. So I'm going to stop talking for a second while I rip a load of this off, and we're just going to start trying to form something. I'm just going to speed forward at this point because I'm going to crimp all of these bits together. Mild cramp in the arm, but pinching done. They've got so much rigidity now. So let's see what we can do with the body. Well, he stands if we want him to. It's a monster puss. It's a monster puss. Let's put it that way. I don't think we're going to be getting any of these in there. we're going to take a pause there. I'm going to have a wander around the house and see if there's anything else that we can use. Right, this is going to be voiceover because I goofed. So, editing Jack's here. I didn't turn my mic on once again. Now that's about 3 times in 2 weeks that I've managed to do that. So, yes, I'm going to have to try and get right back on track with that and stop forgetting, in sheer excitement to crack on with the project, to turn my mic on. So, yes, I got rid of those 2 at the bottom initially. And I've replaced them with screws, because screws look so much better. The cocktail sticks being back in there, they weren't sitting right. So screws go in. Now, I was also thinking about drawing pins. Because again, these are all things that we can have kicking around the house somewhere. I thought they might look cool. So start popping some drawing pins in there, seeing how that goes. Along the way, I decided to ditch all the cocktail sticks off the face. With everything else that was being added there, they weren't needed. So I do stick them in the back of his head. And apart from that, that's all I do with him right now. I may or may not add something further. I don't think I will. I think we're just going to go on with the paint at this point. White just to begin with, because then we can choose after that. He's laying down as well because the drawing pins, as you may or may not have seen yet, keep falling out. Well, a couple of them do. Others aren't going anywhere. They've gripped well. So, yeah, that's what we're about to do. And I will hopefully not forget to turn my mic on again. Guess we'll see if you hear from editing Jacks again before the video's over. So, I was having to think colour-wise what we should go with. And I was flip-flopping for a while, but now I've settled and there's a bit of a hint in the palette there. I'm going to give it a red base, and then I'm going to build up dry brush layers. So I'm going to go red base, dry brush black. So it's like it's almost a volcanic-like. So you've got the red cracking out from underneath the black. And then a very light dry brush of silver over the top of that. I'm undecided what's going on with the eyes right now. I might just re-silver those up so they stand out a bit, or silver but red in the cross of the screw there. So that's what we're going to do. Get painting. Now I have got crimson red and pearl burgundy here because I want it to be a deep red, but I don't want to take away, and ever so slightly metallic, but I don't want to take away from the red. So let's just start putting it on. Now this will probably take a couple of coats to get everywhere. That's what it did with the white. Many coats later, we had a nice white base to work off of. I think it'll be the same with the red. So we will probably flash forward to 2 coats later. Okay, we are here at the moment. So I've gold up the eyes, the screw eyes, re-golded the drawing pins. So I thought, you know, we need some standout features. And the spiky bits, which you can't really see. But now it's the great dry brush. So we're going to dry brush and dry brush and dry brush and make it darker and darker and darker. And then probably re-highlight these and then do a final dry brush, because they are going to get lost. And at the very end we'll black in where the cross section is of the screws. Oh yes, and a final dry brush of silver. So let's do this. I've got a big old brush here and I need minimal black on it. So let's start on the back here. This is going to take many layers of dry brushing. But we can't rush it. If we're going too heavy, then the black will seep in all the places we don't want it to. So it is better to be patient and build it up and up and up. Rather than going there too heavy, because then you have to sort of start again. Because you'll lose the red too quickly. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is a lot of that. So we're going to speed forward. Oh, we are so nearly there. We have dry brushed with the black, multiple layers. I retouched up the eyes. We'll call them the screws, the drawing pins. And then gave them one light dry brush of black just to bring them back down a little bit. So all we're going to do now is give it a really, really, really all over light dry brush with silver. And then it'll be done. Our random sculpture using foil. Oh, it's on my finger. That should be enough because we only need to get some more of this. It's really good. But I don't go to WH Smith these days. Plus, actually I should just look online, shouldn't I? Because it'll be a lot cheaper there. So yeah, just a really, really, really light dry brush of silver. That's a bit heavy in places. I might re-go over certain areas in black just to dull it down a touch. I think it'll be alright actually, because it only catches it really when it's not in the light. It doesn't look so bold in the light. Yeah, I think that'll be it. We'll just let that dry, and it won't take too long because it's a really, really, really pale. I really like this. For something that we didn't know what it was going to be, we just threw it together with foil. Foil and paint. And he stands. We may or may not varnish him, since he will be manhandled. And eventually the paint will wear off. But yeah, we'll come back when he's dry, and he'll either be varnished or he won't. Okay, our foil sculpture is done. Check him out. Now, I'll fill you in briefly on a little mini hiccup yesterday. This is the day after. I'd done him to this point, let him dry, then I varnished him. And then popped him over on the side there to just do his thing, dry, because it was only a very, very thin layer, so I knew it wouldn't take long to dry. Got on with another project, looked over my shoulder, thinking, because he was right by the kettle, I'll make a cup of tea, only to see that from, well, this entire midsection had been stripped of paint right back down to the white. Thankfully it didn't go any further. The rest was fine. So, not entirely sure what happened there. I have since just been rid of that varnish. I no longer trust it. I used it on another project the other day that took a lot longer to do. I'm so glad it didn't do that to that one, otherwise that would not have been an easy fix. I'd have fixed it all the same, but it wouldn't have been easy. So, cleaned him down, repainted the red section, re-dry brushed it black, re-highlighted, re-detailed, and then re-dry brushed silver. So he is just staying as he is. I'll reinvest in some more varnish at a later date, because I'm going to need it anyway for a multitude of projects. And he can get varnished then. Right now, nothing's going to happen to him. I'm the only one who's going to be handling him in the house anyway. So, to save him and me further destruction, he's going to remain unvarnished at this point. But how cool does he look for some just things that you can have laying around the house, or that won't cost much? A couple of random screws, a load of aluminium foil, drawing pins, cocktail sticks, bit of paint. That's a pretty cool sculpture to pull out of nothing. Just things laying around the house. So let's get a close-up on him. And I love the fact that he stands up. Here he is, in all his Lovecraftian glory. An unintentional, very cool aspect my other half pointed out. He is so cool. Let's get in on those tentacles. A mass we'll go up on the underside there. Come around the back. Get in on those eyes. So cool looking. I wasn't expecting this when we started. I wasn't expecting anything when we started, just something. A result. This is a good example of, because I really like the way he's come out, just doing it. Not necessarily having a plan, because I think it was at the beginning of this video, I was umming and ahhing for ages what to do with some foil. And sometimes that can be the worst thing you can do, is just overthink things. Sometimes you've just got to pick materials up and just start doing and see what unfolds. I wouldn't have thought to make this guy outright. And then he wouldn't have been birthed into this world. So I hope this is giving you some ideas, and perhaps just even just a little bit of confidence to just pick something up and start doing. You don't know what you're going to create. And the foil that I used was like 59p. It was the cheapest, like, shopping mart value brand. It doesn't have to be expensive when you're having a play around. The drawing pins I had kicking around anyway, but again, I think they were like 59p, and it used, you know, barely a pinch. There's like 100 in that box. There was 100 in that box. And same for the cocktail sticks. I think I picked them up for like 60p. You can use whatever paint you got kicking around. You can get cheap paint as well. I have down here, this pack of acrylics cost less than £2. I think it was like £1.65, £1.75. It might have even been cheaper than that. Let's get them back down there. So yeah, really cool. And unintentionally, we have another cryptid on our hands. Sort of. He's a bit Kraken-esque. Our Lovecraftian Kraken-esque creation. So I will pop him in the Cryptids collection playlist, because I think that's where he belongs. He belongs with those guys. Or he belongs in the depths. So yeah, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I really do hope you've enjoyed this, and like I say, I do hope it's given you some ideas, some confidence. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Do you want to see more random sculptures out of things that are just kicking around the house? Next cryptid. I have got, just to let you know, I've got a sea dragon en route and a fairy. An unexpected jump in there. I didn't have fairy when I was thinking of. The only one I've actually got up on the wall to do is a mermaid, but that's going to take some time. So I'm not even thinking about that just yet. Though I have got bits for her. I just haven't. She's going to take time, basically. She's going to be a slow burner. So yeah, outside of what we have already, Abominable Snowman, Kraken, Lovecraftian Kraken creature, fairy and mermaid, unless you all say mermaid to get me to pull my finger out and just dive in there and do it. Any others? Any other suggestions? They might jump the queue. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.